What if Deku had all for one's quirk? Yeah, so I'm gonna have to be making some changes from what I did yesterday. First of all, Deku's quirk is still listed down as, I'm gonna say, Deku would change his quirk at, like, list it down as a copy quirk and not all for one. Yeah. He would get into class 1A, where him and Bakugo will be walking to school the next day. I say that Bakugo, nah, it's just a quiet walk to school. They get there, Deku sits down, and then I'm gonna say I'll say that he's the one who puts his feet on the desk and then just sits there. Then Ida walks in and starts talking about how this is school property and how it's not, how he's not supposed to do this. Deku was given a large amount of quirks. If I remember. Oh, this is the next what if I'm doing. What if Deku had Carnage? So, spoilers. Uh, uh, find it. This is it, right? There was this one with a bunch of quirks that I have yet to write down. I was listening to Last Chance too, and then there's a bunch of other people. So yeah. Ida starts talking to Deku about how he should get his feet down. Deku just, I say that Deku, without fighting or arguing, will just put his feet down. Don't worry. I'm only gender bending Bakugo in this, so chill out, okay? I'm not gonna go absolutely hard on that. So I'm gonna say, people start walking in. I'm gonna say, who did I have him say? Yeah, he said Uraka. So I'm gonna, Uraka thanks Deku. Deku's like, yeah, anyone would have done it, right? I'm pretty sure that I had him, like, run it, like, Russian. Hold on. Oh my god. I've just messed up, and I didn't even do the freaking UA entrance exam. So yeah, Baku and Deku walk. I say that Baku just start yelling and arguing with Deku. Deku's not really arguing, he's just making sly remarks. I see that he would joke a little, like say like a dad joke a little, which would make her even madder. When she would throw like I say an explosion at Deku, which Deku would dodge. And at this point, they're already in the U.S. Yeah, they're already in the U.S. UA. Oh my god. So he bumps into Uraka, who falls, and I'm gonna say that Deku he would just turn around and then grab it. Or I'm gonna say. Yeah, he would just turn around and grab her hand. Deku, that one of Deku's quirks is quirk reading. He can read people's quirks by touching them. He would just get all the information about her quirk. Now, how it's called gravity, like gravity, I think her quirk is gravity manipulation. I don't really think she had any. I think it's called gravity. I don't know. So, yeah. He would see this and go over to Deku and then start yelling at him, telling him that he should be careful and where he's going. And Deku would be like, yeah, sorry. And then, I would say in a humble way, he would just say sorry with a little bow. And then he would walk off, going into the entrance exam with Bakugo. Bakugo was like, why'd you let that nobody... hold on. She was like, why did you let that nobody tell you what to do? Or, like, talk to you like that? Deku's like, not everything can be solved with the violence, Kachan. And Baku gets mad. And she was like, are you taking shots at me? And then he's like, nah, of course not. And then they would go in, sit down. They would do the entrance exam. Deku would get first place, Baku would get second. Actually, no. Yeah, Deku's smart. He would get first place, Baku would get Baku would get fourth place. Momo would get second. Todoroki would get third. So the entrance exam, Deku's just standing there. So, hold on. Sorry, hold on. So, like I said, Deku can combine quirks, and create quirks, which he uses to combine quirks. I'm gonna have to fix something about what I said yesterday. Deku can also create quirks, but they can only last for like one. They're like one shot use. If he makes like a fire quirk, he just puts the information about it in his head, and then he can release fire out his hands, and he won't be able to do it ever again until he makes the quirk again. And he can create like combine quirks to create other quirks, which is what he was talking about. So Deku's gonna create like combine two quirks. I had an idea on it. Nah, Deku's just gonna walk. I'm gonna say that Deku would just run. He would just run to, like, as soon as Mike says go, Deku would just run, and then he would stop. Well, I say that he would activate his electrokinesis. Is that what it's called? Yeah, electrokinesis, giving him complete control over lightning. But I'm gonna say that he could control like the light and like the electricity that his body emits. So I'm gonna say like he would be running, but then like when he get close to like robots, he would just grab them and then start sucking the electricity from them, which his body would just start enter this electric like state. Oh yeah, and because I'm gonna do for my 200 subscriber special. I'm doing what if Deku had. What if Gon had Nin from the beginning, like from the very start of the show, and I'm gonna do my what if Deku had Carnage as my 190 sub special. So yeah, Deku would just start touching the robots, which would drain the electricity from them. Deku does have a limit on how much electricity he has, on how much electricity that his body can take. I'm gonna say he can store like I'm not gonna get into how much he can store because I'm not good at math. So I'm gonna say he's touching robots, running, and then like when the time came where like a 3-pointer, he would start like touching 1-pointers and 2-pointers. When a 3-pointer came, Deku would just like the electricity that was swirling around his body would go towards his hand, and then it would like create this electricity type spear, but like it's like a lightning bolt, and he would throw it, which would like go through the robot and destroy like I'm gonna say it would level like a city block, and there were people there, so people would just start getting rocks would start falling. So it would hit like it's like nothing bad, like nothing too bad, but like a rock or two would just hit someone or like hit a couple of people, and Deku was like, oops. Because he still hasn't got over his trauma as a child of where he thinks that he can take anything that he wants. All Mice would see that he just, like, Deku just leveled an entire city block. Because they're, like, in, like, an artificial city. Deku just leveled a city block. And hurt a couple of people in the entrance exam. I'll say that All Might would, a couple of the heroes would see this as like, there's no way that kid is getting well. They would be like, it must have been an accident, and All Might would be thinking that that's no accident, which it was actually an accident. Deku's like, oops. I'm gonna say he creates a quirk healing. I'm gonna say Deku has like a notebook on him, and he has like a small sketchbook. Hold on. That was annoying. Deku like have this small notebook. It's like a like small notebook, nothing too big. He would just start drawing this picture. And I'm gonna say like these bugs, like these flies, little circle flies would just start flying out of there. And these aren't just normal flies; they're like infused with a quirk that he created called regeneration. So as soon as the fly touches someone, it will turn to like a green ink, which will cover their body and where they were hurt, and they'll just start healing automatically. And then people will these flies will just start swarming and grabbing, like landing on people. All of their stamina and their healing, like they're regaining all of their stamina as they're being healed. And then Deku says, like he would close his notebook and then say that was good. Well, that looks good, isn't it? He would just say, he just think that he finished repaying them because he did just hurt a couple of them. So he would just close his notebook and put it back in the back of his pocket, and then he'll start walking off. I say that he's confident enough that he had enough to get into the top class. But people will start screaming and running past him. That he's still walking towards the entrance. He's like, what? Then he would look behind and see the 3-pointer, the 0-pointer, I mean. And he's like, tempted. He's tempted to, like, he would see that the 0-pointer is going to crush Uraraka. But since Deku doesn't really have a hero mentality, and like in this one, he would just look back at her and then continue to walk away, thinking that one of the pro heroes would save her. It's not his problem. And then he would just get an automatic flashback to a point where Deku was at the first 8 weeks he stayed with Mitsuki. Mitsuki would sit next to Deku and then start talking about how if he just trained enough, he can use those quirks those bad people forced upon him and to turn them into good things. And then Mitsuki would just start rubbing Deku's hair in, like how you see, like it's just like she's like rubbing Deku's hair in, telling him, that if anyone's in trouble, that he should help them, and good deeds never go unpaid. Deku's like, and then Deku would just turn around and just start sprinting towards the robot. And then Deku's like, what am I doing? Like, this isn't like me. And then he would just jump off, because he just moved his own body, just move without him thinking. And then I say that he still has a little bit of electricity stored within him, which he used most of it to jump off the air, jump up to the robot's face, which he would punch, creating like a dent in the robot, like how Deku did in the cannon, but it's not that big, it's like smaller, which would push the robot back a little bit, but it wouldn't break it, like destroy it. I'm gonna say that Deku starts falling, and I'm gonna say that he opens his notebook and then touches it, and I'm gonna say that this swarm of bugs start to fly out again. Cause here's how his drawing quirk, what's it called? What did he call it? He called it sketchbook. I think he called it sketchbook quirk. So Deku can just draw something, and he could tap it with his pen, and those things would fly out of the notebook. But how it works, how the quirk actually works, is once he taps it, it flies out. It takes some of his stamina as well. But the picture that he drew never... Jesus, sisters are annoying. Anyway, the picture will still be in the notebook, and he can just use it anytime he wants. If the person who suggested this quirk, if you want me to change it, you could just tell me. So, yeah. He would just make these swarm of birds. So he would just continuously tap this bird, because depending on the size of his drawing is how big that creature will be. So if Deku had I'm gonna say a queen-sized drawing board, he drew a dragon, it would come out. The dragon would come out the size of that queen-sized bed. And Deku just repeatedly tapping this. Now he's starting to feel the stamina drain. Actually, I'm gonna say that Deku's drawing something that will help him stop falling. So he has a quirk. I'm gonna give him a quirk. It's called time stop. He could slow down time. So Deku's falling slowly, and because don't get me wrong, even if Deku does the time stop, if he were to fall, he would still. So yeah. Deku's frantically drawing something, really trying to draw something. So he's what would help? What would help? Because none of the bugs that he releases out of his thing would be strong enough to actually carry him. So he'd be what would help? Oh yeah, the fire quirk, the pyrokinesis quirk, where he can make wings. He hasn't developed that yet. He knows he has a pyrokinesis quirk, but he just hasn't developed it yet. So he's what's gonna help me? Yeah, those were intentional stutters. So, Deku's falling slowly, and then he's thinking, thinking, and he thinks that nothing can help him. So he's I'm gonna say he one of the people there had a shock absorption quirk, It was like, it's weaker than the Nobu. It's like 10 times weaker than the Nobu's. So he's still gonna feel the pain of this fall. So Deku's like, well, so might as well just take it. And live to tell another day. So he unfreezes time. Then he falls down to the ground, where he gets slapped in the face. Which Uraka grabs him. Like, she slapped him, and he starts floating, and then he falls to the ground. He's like, what? And then he's like laying there. I'm gonna say like the electricity like ripped off a part of like his suit's arm. So he gets up, and he's like, what? And then he would just see Uraka, and then he would be thinking he owes this person a favor, or he has to repay his debt to this person. But then it's not over. The 0 pointer is still, it starts moving towards them again, and just as it's about to roll over, sorry, gotta watch that. Just as it's about to roll over Deku again, well, not roll over Deku, I'm gonna say that just as Deku is getting up to attack it again, I'm gonna say that he's gonna release a quirk that he just created. Say that he's gonna release like his pyrokinesis quirk mixed with his one of his enhancement quirks. So he pushes his hands out. Actually, no. Deku, I don't think anyone put any like quirks that would actually help him. So I'm gonna say that Deku doesn't have like a strength enhancement quirk. He's just standing there. I'm gonna say that he. I'm gonna say that he's just like he's planning on releasing the rest of the lightning that he has left, but he knowing that it's not gonna be enough to stop it. But then the exam stopped. President Mark's like over, and then everyone's like, well, Deku would just get up as the robot stopped. Then he would walk away. Oh, he would walk away from Uraka. And yeah, All Might would look at this, and then he would look at Deku. He would, I'm gonna say that All Might would have seen Deku's face, and All Might would have seen confusion in Deku's face as he was running towards Uraka. He's like, All Might's thinking that he might be imagining things, but he would say, well, he would think that he thinks that kid just moved without thinking, and then he'd be like, that thought's over, as the recovery girl would walk out to Uraka. I'm gonna say that Deku's already like nearly out of the building. As I'm gonna say that, yeah, Deku's out of the building, like outside of the building waiting for Baku. And then he's like, alright, let's roll out. And then they start to walk away. And yeah, Deku would just walk home silently. Baku was just confused by this because this guy is always cheeky in some type of way. She's like she's not thinking much of it. So then Deku would just walk up. Mitsuki would be like, Deku would just walk up to his room, and he would sit down by his desk, and then he would like push his all of his his hands. He would clench his hands together, and then he would just sit there and think in front of a piece of paper. And then like every time Deku fails, like if I'm gonna say that when Deku fails, every day, like every time he fails, he would go home in front of a piece of paper and write down, I'm gonna say 1,000 ways that he could have actually, I'm gonna say 100 ways of how he could have actually gotten out of that situation without failing. And he wouldn't move until he figured out all 100 ways he could have got out of there. And then, after figuring out like 99 ways, Deku would have thought pyrokinesis, the ability to control fire. So then Deku would just walk outside, and then he would just stand outside, as then fire would start to, I'm gonna say that he would just light a fire and throw it on like a grill, and then he would lift the fire up, and then he would absorb the fire into his body. I'm gonna say that Baka and Mitsuki are like standing outside of their dining room window, looking at him, seeing what he's doing. And then Deku has he's shirtless right now. I'm gonna say that wings, like small wings, like because he didn't absorb that much fire, small wings would come out of Deku's back, and then he's like, why didn't I think of this before? Then he would fold the wings back into his body. I'm gonna say that Deku may have not have gotten a strength quirk, but he got a stockpiling quirk. stockpile. So what he stockpiles is electricity and fire. And if you guys want anything else, you could just tell me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna say he can also like stockpile like I'm gonna say yeah I'm gonna say that. So Deku right now he knows of his summoning quirk, but he won't use it that much because he really doesn't know what's useful enough. He's probably like thinking of like thinking he can combine his black hole quirk with like his summoning. He can combine his black hole quirk with his summoning quirk and his like a sketch of one of his drawings to create like this like a dimension, like a dark or white space in time or like reality, where he can release like the creatures that he's drawn out onto the like, well, basically just out. So I'm gonna say that Deku's like, how come I haven't thought of these solutions before? I must have been getting rusty from all the training instead of studying. And then Deku would just walk inside, go upstairs and start studying more. Because Deku in this doesn't take failure lightly. He takes failure as a like him not being able to accomplish a situation. So he's like thinking of ways of how he can fix like or combine his quirks. Then the first day of UA arrives. And we see that Deku's walking with Bakugo. And then, but Deku's back to his old self. He's making jokes and then teasing Bakugo, which Bakugo just hates this man. And then I see that she'd like try to throw another explosion at Deku. And then Deku would just grab her arm and pull it upwards as she throws it in the air. And then Deku would be like, careful, we don't want what happened last time to happen again. And yeah, my phone is at 7%. I'll just keep going until it gets 5. So, yeah. Oh, people are commenting on my videos. I have to answer those. So Deku's like... and then he would just make another joke at Bakugo, teasing her again. And then she gets mad. And then I see this time she would actually hit him with the explosion. But it's like a light explosion. And then he's like... So then she would walk away, like storm away, getting into UA. Then Deku would just walk in. Where he would see... Let me see that Bakugo just chills and puts her feet up. And Deku's like... Oh, and then Ida's already there, just like already on Bakugo's ass about what she's doing, and then she's like, "Go away, you freaking loser." And then Deku would just sit down. I think he would feel like a tap on his shoulder, where Uraraka would be like, "Thank you for saving me," and then Deku would look behind her, like turn around and look at her, and then he would say, "No, thank you for saving me," and then he would say that he owes you one, or that he owes her one. And Uraraka would be like, well, you saving me, or you already repaid your debt, and so me saving you, I already repaid my debt, basically. So Deku's like, alright. Then he would just walk away and sit down, where everyone would, like, as I would pop up, everyone's talking, because everyone's talking too loud, and then he gets mad. The quick assessment. So I'm gonna say every day, like before he went to UA, that he already absorbed a lot of fire, and he already absorbed a lot of electricity. I say that he would repeatedly charge. I'm gonna say that he would go to a power plant. Like he would sneak into a power plant. He would put his hand around like one of the like cables or cords, and then he would start absorbing light electricity. Actually, no. Deku's like electricity is like hard to get around here, like it's hard for him to stockpile, because if you just continuously took electricity from Mitsuki's like from the house where he lives, then he would just add on to the bills that Mitsuki has to pay. So he's like, never mind. So I'm gonna say that Deku repeatedly charges his phone and then absorbs the energy in it, then charges his phone over and over again, and repeat like an endless cycle. So he has like a little bit of electricity, but not a lot for him to like. He only has enough for him like remember that punch I was talking about, where he created a dent inside of the zero pointer, but it didn't destroy it. He only has enough to do that again. So then Deku is just there. So they're out in the quick assessment. I'm gonna say that since Deku got first, I'm gonna say Bakugo got first place, which Bakugo was like surprised. Like I was for sure that this dude would get first place. She would walk up and then she would start taunting Deku like, "Looks like I finally beat you." Deku's like, "Yeah, all right. Enjoy this win while it lasts," because Deku, he never told her that he saved anybody, but I guess you would hear that he saved Uraka from Uraka thanking him, but she wouldn't think that she wouldn't think that would cut into him getting points. So yeah, she would do it, get the amount she got. I'm gonna say that she gets 1,050, like 1,052 meters. Yeah, I think they measure meters. I really don't know. Deku would go. He would throw it with his electricity, and since he doesn't have like a strength enhancement right now, he will only get like 720 meters. I see that he would create like a small strength, like a small strength enhancement. Which he would throw it, and he would get like 1,007. I'm gonna say 1,300 meters, which would pin Bakugo off. Then Deku would be like, "Whoa there. It looks like you've improved," and then she would get even madder because he's taunting her now. So yeah, everyone would be amazed at these two because they're like, "Wow, all right." I'm pretty sure that no one else had gotten that much in like this thing. So yeah, the grip test would go as Deku just making an enhancement quirk, and Bakugo using her enhancement quirk. Deku getting second place, Bakugo getting third place. Actually, I'm gonna say that Bakugo got second place, Deku got third, and because the reason why he's not like this bad at the moment is because he doesn't have that many quirk options, and because All for One had like stole like hundreds of quirks. He had many options to create things. But Deku doesn't have that option because he doesn't steal quirks from other people, and the quirks that he creates are like, I'm gonna say like 3 or 2 times weaker than what it would normally be if it was born and manifested inside of someone else. So yeah, don't worry. He'll start stealing quirks from people. Don't worry about it. I already got. Well, he'll start quotation relieving. Well, not relieving. Well, quotation helping the cops later at night or like during the USG or something. So yeah. So Deku will get like second place. Deku will like get So the Deku gets first place because he got first place in the run and the jump. And so Deku get first place, Baku get second, and so on and so forth down the line. So yeah. So I'm gonna say the hero versus villain. It's Bakugo versus Bakugo and Ida versus Deku and Uraka. Not Uraka, I'm gonna say Deku and Kirishima. So Deku would be like, "Yo, Kira," I don't go Kirishima, like, or "Yo, Kirishima," or like Kirishima or something, and tell Kirishima that Bakugo's quirk is extremely powerful. Not only that, she has strength enhancement. She has like way more strength than what a normal female, or not female. I'm trying not to sound sexist, or a normal. She has way more strength than what she seems like she has. And to chill out and to be careful. So Bakugo would just bluntly, like, say out bluntly that he has the ability to create quirks. And well, she would just say to be careful with Deku. That she would be like tell Bakugo to Ida be careful that they need to form a plan because she would know how dangerous Deku would be to her in like a head-on fight. But she'd be like, "Nah, not gonna have that." So I'm gonna say that the limit is like they have the entire city, but they already know where the building is and what they should be searching for it. So yeah, Deku would just climb, like scale a building, and he would stand outside. He would see that the windows are like blocked. So Deku not only has the ability to control electricity and like to maneuver it, maneuver it. Is that how you pronounce that word? I suck at pronouncing words, but he also has the ability to sense, see the heat and electricity off of someone's body. So he's already located the bomb, and he has created a clone of himself. I'm gonna say that, yeah, he created like a shadow clone type thing, combining his drawing quirk, like his sketch quirk, with a quirk that he created combining his sketch quirk with his shape shifting quirk, which would shape shift his drawing into something that looks like him. And so he's maneuvering Kurashima up the stairs. So Kurashima gets into a head-on battle. Bakugo's like, with little Ida would just be throwing fights, like fighting Deku, which Bakugo would be like, this is weird. Why isn't he using any of his quirks? Not any of his quirks. Like, why is he only using that ink quirk of his? Because I'm gonna say that that ink quirks, the ink, like the sketches have the ability to shoot ink out of their hands. Actually, to control ink, so they can make blades out of their hands with their hands. And then it would just be slashing up. I'm gonna say it creates a hammer and just starts slashing. Not slashing, but swinging at Ida. So Ida's fighting. So Baku would already know that something's up because he's only using one quirk. People are actually confused on what Deku's quirk is, but he would just say, "Oh, I just have a copy quirk." So they're like, "Oh, he just has a copy quirk." So I'm gonna say that the clone swings swings at Baku Ida, but then it takes his hand back and swings at Bakugo, which would take Bakugo towards the window where Deku Boy is already at. So Deku would just break through the window, grabbing Bakugo. He would throw her out the window. Then as Bakugo hits the wall, the wall that the building that they're next to, she would just get ready to launch herself at Deku, throwing an explosion. But Deku can. Then you remember that quirk combination I was talking about earlier, where Deku combined his sketch quirk with his black hole quirk with his I think sketch black hole and his summoning quirk, creating